Hello everyone, welcome back to our channel, Beadly Speaking Jewelry with Dyon, Davidson. Thank you so much for subscribing and stopping in to check out what's going on in the lupus world and other autoimmune diseases. I'm so excited about this week's topic. It's basically about, what do you know? What type of resources are available for not just people with lupus, but also people who have disabilities. So, oh man, it's coming up on 5 years since I was diagnosed. I can't believe it's been that long. So right after I was diagnosed with lupus, my car broke down and it was really cold. I was diagnosed October 2013. So I'm coming up on my 5th anniversary on the 18th of this month. And my car broke down, didn't have a way to get around. And a friend of mine told me that the Motor Vehicle Administration also has a program that I can use. It's like the bus, but they actually pick you up and drop you off at your location. You pay a little bit more than you would on the bus, but it's more personable. You share the ride with other people. And I was like, what? That's a good resource. I didn't know about it. So imagine if I'm just a newly diagnosed person and I didn't know about it, how many people have to go through a period of time not knowing? And I also was able to share that information with other new people who were diagnosed with lupus as I went on, throughout my journey. So the first thing I want to share with you is that there are programs out there for transportation for people with disabilities. And the form that you have to get is actually on the state's website. So check with your state, whatever state you're in. I'm in Maryland. Check with your state to see what type of transportation that they have available. And they'll have a form that they can mail to you. You get the form filled out by your doctor to prove that you are disabled, and it lists the specifics that you can and cannot do. For me, I couldn't stand for any specific period of time. That's how bad my knees would give out. And as soon as I'm exposed to cold or heat, my body will react a certain way. So being exposed to cold weather, my hands and my toes would go purple and they will completely go numb. So I couldn't stand on a bus stop for any period of time. So I was granted access to that ride. And in doing so, it also gave me access to taxi cabs. So I know Uber is in now, but the taxi cab, whereas a ride would cost me $20 on a taxi, I would probably pay like $3 or $5. That's a big difference, right? And I will still get where I'm going. So that's important to know about resources like that. I didn't know about that resource prior to becoming ill, and I'm sure some of you don't know about it. So if there are other resources, share. I'm just sharing what I learned. So that's one, transportation. Now, let's say you have a car, and like me now, I have a car, but my problem is I'm so sensitive to the sun that when I'm driving in the summer, this whole side that's exposed to the sun, it feels like the sun is going all the way to my bones. It hurts really bad. And now someone just told me that I can go to Motor Vehicle Administration and get a form from them to get my windows tinted. And I could take it to my doctors. Take it to my doctor to get it filled out, and I'll be granted permission to get a type of tint that I can, I guess it's a little higher than the regular tint. So I'm like, why isn't this something that we know offhand and that people are sharing? So now that I know, I'm sharing with you. That's something that can help you if you're sensitive to the sun like me. So that's two forms of transportation, whether you don't have a car, whether you have a car. Another type of resource that was shared with me, I know a lot of times people ask me, like, how can I get access to wigs? A lot of people have lost their hair, and I always refer them to hairstylists who I know who are really great at making wigs. And not taking any money away from the hairstylists that I know, but a lot of times I find that people don't have enough money because they're on disability. They're collecting a check, and the check is not enough to pay, monthly expenses, let alone to, buy wigs. So I found out that the Lupus Foundation, they don't actually pay for the wigs, but they have a contact foundation that they work with, so they'll connect you to that foundation that actually pays for the wigs, get the wigs made. So that's great information to know. That way, if you ever get in that situation, or it might not be for you, it might be for somebody else. Like, the wig isn't for me, but I'm sharing it with you because it might benefit you or somebody else that you know. The last thing that I found out just by Googling stuff, because when I was finishing up physical therapy, I wanted to make sure that I maintained movement, but I didn't want to do anything too aggressive or too stressful. So I Googled free yoga classes, and lo and behold, there were free yoga classes right here in Baltimore where I am. And I started going. I was like, that's a big blessing right there. So that's something that maybe you can try. I know for a lot of people with lupus, exercising is a challenge because of the pain that you're in, but trying something that requires you maybe to stretch, not so much of lifting or, you know, using any machines and things like that, but something that requires low impact and is free. Again, so you got transportation to get you there, and you have something free that you don't have to pay for, and at the same time you're doing self-care. So you can't beat that. So much all in one. So I'm not here to, you know, lecture you on what you need to do, but I'm just sharing the basic information that I've learned how to help us, because we're in a community where a lot of times you hear people talk more about how awful they feel with their symptoms, but I'm here to help empower you with information. The more information you have, the better you're able to make decisions to make your life more impactful, give you a greater life. And I know where I was 5 years ago, it was not a good place physically or mentally. And I thank God for renewing me and giving me strength where now I can be a blessing to other people. So be a blessing. Even if this isn't for you, share it with somebody else. Thank you so much for joining. Do not forget to subscribe. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and share this with a friend. Even if you want to text it out to somebody, inbox it to them on social media, share it. This information is powerful. The more information that you share with somebody, the more that somebody else's life is impacted. I want to say thank you to Flawless Faces for this awesome lipstick. I am so loving these purple lipstick that y'all have. I got to give y'all a shout out because I absolutely love it. Has nothing to do with today's topic, but I'm just loving my purple lips. Anyway, thank you guys so much for joining, and don't forget to check out all the other videos that's on our channel. And if you're in Baltimore, Maryland, or if you're in the DC, DMV area and you would like to come on our show, we welcome you. You can email us at beadlyspeaking@gmail.com, and we can sit down and chop it up. Thank you. Have a blessed one. Love you. Mwah.